Hi, my name is Hannah Blanton and I observed at the Beebe Early Childhood Building. I observed for Miss Emily Chapman in kindergarten. One thing that the school did as a whole that I noticed that really helped and I thought it was awesome, when they did their morning announcements, they had a word of the day. And so they announced this word to the whole school, and each classroom went over this word and the definition individually, which I thought was really cool because it helped them expand their vocabulary and learn words that they wouldn't learn in the normal curriculum for that age. When I entered the classroom, she was very sweet and welcoming. She introduced me to everyone and just gave me a little bit of information about her class and how she ran it, and just some important information that I would need to know for observing in her classroom. The children were also very sweet and they introduced all of each other to me so that I could know them better. I didn't remember all their names at first, but by the end I knew all of them individually and I got a lot closer with them, which helped out. Throughout the time that I was there, she showed me her lesson plans and some of the criteria that they have to follow, which really gave me an insight on what it's going to be like for me to be a teacher someday and what I'm going to need to know when I become a teacher. Her seating arrangement worked very well for her and her students. They were all sitting at tables and she had them alternated between boys and girls. She knew their personalities and who needed to be by who and who was not supposed to be sitting together. She had two students in particular that were very distracting to each other and to others, and so she set them together. They kept each other company so that they did not distract others. My glow for the seating arrangement would be that the tables taught the students teamwork and how to work together because they each had individual cups in the middle of the table with all their individual items. My grow would be that the distracting children possibly should have been on a desk somewhere separate from the other kids because they did kind of distract other kids. But it was a good thing that they taught teamwork and it taught them how to work well with others. But those few students did cause some problems. Her classroom schedule was very good. She kept to the schedule and they did the same thing every day. So she was very consistent, and I feel like that this helped the students stay on a schedule and they knew what was coming every day. They knew what to expect, and staying on a schedule really helps students do what they need to do. She did a lot of sayings that she would say and they would repeat back, which helped them listen a lot better. One of the sayings she used was like 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me, and they would say 1, 2, eyes on you, which brought all of their attention to her and everyone was quiet, and they knew when they heard that saying that they were to be quiet and to look at her. And the grow that I would have for the classroom management would be that she did not always follow through with discipline. She would threaten them with certain things sometimes and would not always follow through with what she said she was going to do. And they would push and she would threaten them, but they wouldn't always get disciplined in return for what they continued to do. Her classroom learning was very good. The positive that I found very well that worked for her and her students was she used a lot of hand motions and broke down every word. They did sight words every day. She had a sight word wall that they read every day, and she was adding words slowly over time. She also did flashcards with them when they went to carpet, and they did a time where they broke down the words according to the certain letters and the certain sounds, and they would do hand motions that helped break down into syllables. And I feel like this really helped the students because they could hear each letter that was in the word, which would also reference back to them helping them spell the word. My grow for classroom learning would be that there was too much reading. The children were getting tired of being told to read a book. And it wasn't just the teacher's fault as much as they were being pushed to make the children read more. In the mornings, they made the children read in the hallway, and when they came into the classroom, they were told to sit down and read a book until it was time to start. And then in different times of the day, they would also be told to go get a book and sit down and read. And the children just weren't focused on the book and weren't very interested. To me, her learning activities was her strongest point. She was very creative and thought outside of the box, and she always found learning activities that the children enjoyed doing. It was always something different, and it was always something that went along with the theme of the week. So my grow for her learning activities was there was a slight problem with not all of the children participating. When they did small activities such as the hand motions and different things, some of the children did not like the activities or did not want to participate, which made the class not really stick together as a whole. And so I feel like she kind of overlooked those students that didn't want to participate, and they might have should have been called to the side or talked to about why they weren't participating and that they needed to start participating in the classroom activities. Comet was very welcoming, and the children really loved her. She was pretty laid back for the most part, but she did make them follow rules, and her rules were posted around her room, and she did expect the children to follow them, but she was laid back for the most part. No matter what she did or who she got onto, her students always loved her and really had respect for her. My grow would be that the climate was crazy sometimes. The children were rambunctious and they needed something to help them calm down. The worst part was in the morning when they were coming in. Just getting their stuff put up and getting in their seat was always a crazy time. And it just took them a really long time to actually get settled down and doing what they were supposed to be doing. And she would have to get on to them over and over. And I feel like there should have been some sort of activity that they look forward to doing that would help them calm down instead of having to get on to them so much and making them calm down. So maybe I would have chosen an activity in the mornings that would have made them calm down, but something that they really looked forward to doing every day. Miss Emily did have one particular student that resisted learning quite a bit. She had several rambunctious students, but I would consider this one student to be the only one that really resisted wanting to learn. She handled him very well for the most part. He was just crazy and did not want to listen. He did get his recess taken away a lot, and he was sent to other classrooms at times, or would have to go sit in another part of the classroom or sit right beside Miss Emily during carpet time. He was very distracting to the other students, which I would grow upon. He should have been separated a little bit more or punished in a different way that would have made him act better. Something that should have been approached in a different way, and something that could have been grown upon, but it was a very tough situation to try to handle with this particular student. My glow for the student that resisted learning would be that Miss Emily still loved him and did not treat him any different in a normal environment. She still gave him opportunities and treated him like the other students until he would act bad. So I thought this was very good. She didn't resent him for the way he acted or punish him constantly. So when he was acting good, he did just get treated just like everyone else. Her teaching approach was very hands-on, and that worked very well with these particular students. It was also homogeneous, so in her centers, she had the higher and lower students separated. So the kids that scored higher in her class would be in a group, and it would go down as their levels decreased. She said that she felt like this helped them because they were with people on their same, thinking level, and they could work together the best And she said that at one point she had them together with one high and one low, but she found that the higher student did all the work and the lower student was not learning very much. And so she felt like sticking them with the same age would help them. And this worked very well for her. My grow for her teaching approach would be just sometimes she would not stick to her schedule. She would skip the morning lesson or something, and I felt like this threw the students off. But her overall teaching approach towards the students was very good and very thought out, and she did a very good job of interacting with her students the best that they could understand her.